their hand, except for maybe Dion Jaffe if he's on this call. And the point of that is I didn't like have this large team and went from large team and went from large team and rocked it out and had all these fake stories. In fact, I hate fake stories. But I was always the number one recruiter in every single company, including Visalis, which was a huge company, $1 billion company with reps, 100,000 plus. And I was their top enroller in their company. So I have some insight on this. And if I'm the top enroller in the companies and I don't do what they call challenge parties or coffee mixers or anything like that, then I think I have some introspect that's going to help you guys. So I'm sure now you guys are looking forward to a DS Domination party with your neighbors anytime soon. So what I did is I fought, I clawed, and I see a lot of you guys doing that. And then I see some in the help desk that, they just hit the minorest, smallest wall, and it's arms in the air or give us a hand or something like that. And we're here to give hands and stuff like that. But every single day, I would wake up with my family on my mind and bills on my mind and credit card on my mind and my balance on my bank account on my mind. And how many of you guys have done this? You're like, okay, I got $2,000 in my bank account. I get paid this Friday. That'll bring up to $2,600. And then I have one more check coming this month. It'll bring up $3,400. And then my mortgage is $1,400. It brings down to $2,000. If we get $500, and you do that, and you think you're just, doing some math in your head and happy when you have a balance at the end, but you're really stressing on your body and things like that. And the opportunities came along, and for me, I went night and day, and I always had eBay to fall back on. That was the grace that I had. In the Shopping Genie, I was on Craigslist. And not only was I posting ads on Craigslist, but I would call people, inverted people, and call them. If they were in the industry, I'd reach out to them and try and flip them or talk to them or whatever I could do with them. And one of the guys was this person named Andy Sharp. And Andy Sharp lives in my hometown, and I reached out to him. And Andy was not a good networker at all, never had any success. But he matter-of-factly introduced me to Kevin Hokawana. And you've heard things like every dud knows a stud or things like that. I don't want to use cliche words, but when I met Kevin Hokawana, it started changing my life, and I started learning some online marketing and stuff. And Kevin's here, and there's all his materials in the back office to teach you, so you're already leaps and bounds ahead without fighting that fight. As I went along, I established a really good team in the challenge company that was out there, and we started rock and roll. And I just went on pure energy in that company, and I got up to a six-figure, $250,000 yearly income, and woohoo, fantastic for me. But what I found, even at a $250,000 income, and even with 4,000 reps, I had to get up every single day. In fact, when another company was courting me, they were like, why are you going 24/7? You've already built it. You should be done. And there's a company that had amazing phone follow-up, had events all planned out. You knew what you're doing January 1 to December 31st. It was all planned out for you. It was rock and roll. And I still had to bust tail, not to get to the next level, not to get to $1 million, but just to keep my team together. And it was eroding from the bottom to the top, and I was fighting that all the time. And then I wanted to do what leaders did, so I got in the car and I drove all the way from here up to Nova Scotia, Canada. It was like 20-something hours, and I believed in the dream, and I stopped in at about 14 parties. There's about 5 people in the room at every party. I closed one person on a $49 product on that trip, okay? All the way up to Nova Scotia, all the way back. So a lot of times this party atmosphere pipe dream is just a pipe dream. Really, a lot of the leadership, now there is a ton of leadership from other companies on this call. I'm not saying anything against you guys. I'm not saying anything against the Shake Company or anything at all. But my realization is from what I see now, hearing the backstories, the guys and the girls way at the top were mostly planned, mostly hooked up, mostly given something, mostly met with the owner, mostly got a position, mostly got money to be in that spot. And they went and they rock and rolled it out. And the whole goal when you're a leader in a company and you're high up is to replace yourself, to find another you. And I really never found another me, so I had to keep going. And then I got something about a coffee company because I was frustrated with the shake company that I was in. And I basically started almost completely over, talked to about 6 or 7 people, came over, crushed that company out, was their top enroller, their top pin, all of that. And along those lines, I ran into Hitesh. And as I ran to Hitesh and started meeting Hitesh and started talking about the average person, stuff like that, again, if you know the story, I kept blocking it. I was like, we're rocking coffee. Everybody drinks coffee. Gazillion-dollar industry. Are you crazy? And Hitesh would come out with Starbucks data. Yeah, but if the average person would have to do so much in sales in that coffee company, and if they did that owning a Starbucks, they would make 10 times more. Yeah, but you got to pay all this money up front for a Starbucks, dude, and just back and forth. And he kind of drilled home the point in my head that the average person couldn't win. So we started exploring what the average person could win at, and that was the birth later on of the COM model, where there's zero on the planet that will satisfy the customer enough to get the customer excited enough to stay on an auto ship, except for what we discovered, making money easily. And no front-end company has something like that will last it and have longevity. So I kind of want to tell you guys some of the story that you could piece together and all of that, and let you guys know that this is 100 times easier than anything I've gone through as far as growing the business, because you're doing Facebook posts. I never did a Facebook post and said, hey, anybody want to lose some weight? And like if 20 people join. I never did a Facebook post like this coffee tastes delicious and a bunch of people joined. But here we're seeing it over and over and over and over again. And that girl I was speaking about earlier that was in the other company with me briefly, never made any money, and now she's rocking out here. She wrote in the help desk. She goes, how do you take out money? I was just trying like $30 just for fun, but I got some money. I'm going to buy this and this and this with it from bringing folks in. And she's not a strong recruiter that I know of. I was just getting to know her, but she's doing it with some Facebook posts or Craigslist posts. So I just want to tell you guys some more of the story and talk to you about how easy this is compared to everything else. And if you take this action just this one time, and it's a real easy action, isn't it? Some Facebook posts, list on eBay, everything else. Versus everything else in the industry, you really can set yourself up for an amazing immediate future and long-term future with us. But you have to take that action. And with that, to help you with your actions and to support you and give you tools and give you guidance and everything you need, the guy here, if you're new here, Hitesh, and a lot of you guys already know him already, he can hop off the computer tonight and do something and make money online. He can just do it any facet he wants. He's here because he has a dream, and this company will fulfill his dream and his morality at the same time. So I'll bring him out without further ado.
Well, this is becoming harder and harder to weaponize Roger because he has all these heartfelt rants, which make it very difficult to actually transition to anything else except continue the heartfelt rant. So, and you know what? That's really nice to see because this is one of the points that we kind of had a disagreement on way back. Not disagreement is too hard of a word. It's kind of like we both did not think about it the same way. Is that I hate being salesy about stuff. I'm just like, let's just talk to people about the reality of things and it'll work out. And it's awesome because everybody in this company has started doing that way more. I mean, people are coming in who were involved in 50 other companies and they're the professional salespeople. And they're realizing that, hey, I can just be honest and do better because we have something that you can be honest about. So it's just really cool. I just enjoy that. But, okay. I want to actually start this out by highlighting a very important fact. And I'm writing this on there. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. But while Roger was explaining how much he had to work and how difficult it was, Jacob, who's on the call, I don't know Jacob personally, but he said, anything that's worth it is never really easy. And here's the thing, that is actually a fallacy. Okay, that's not true. Things which are difficult are not necessarily the same as things that are profitable, okay? It's very difficult to go out there and sell a bunch of shakes, but it is very easy for you to go post on eBay and make a few sales, okay? So don't confuse it. Don't think that you're working so hard because you're trying to do something that will eventually be profitable. It just might be the case that you're doing something that's not profitable, and that's why you're working so hard, okay? So distinguish between the two things and start focusing on things which are profitable, not things that are just difficult, okay? So actually, this theme is going to fall out basically throughout the entire training tonight. Basically, everything that we're going to cover tonight is going to be built around this theme because the biggest factor that I've seen with most people is they love focusing on difficult things because they have been taught that you have to become this big shot marketer and you have to be a great marketer to know how to make money online and stuff like that. And I do know those things. I know how to code. I know how to a lot of things, but you really guys, you don't need to know that kind of stuff, and you don't need to do that kind of stuff to be just as profitable or even more than I am. Okay, so we're going to talk about all of that stuff tonight. Before I get there, I want to just very briefly talk about what's been going on, what the state of the things is right now. And if you're right now on this, you're obviously a member of DS Domination. You're hopefully one of the 83-85% of the people who are already profitable. If you're not, then you just need to, you will be profitable soon then. But here's what the scenario is. We did not go out there with hypey videos. We did not go there and say, look at what we have. This is some new phenomena or some kind of gimmick to get people in. But we just basically stuck to the truth and we just explained what our product is. And basically at this point, the growth has been entirely viral. Okay, the reason the growth has been so viral and the reason it has worked so well is because our marketing has been focused on communicating with our audience, not on trying to convince the audience. Okay, so let's make a note of that. Communication versus convincing someone. Okay, and that's the other thing that we are basically going to be doing here as well. Okay, so I'm going to walk through all of these things tonight. We're going to actually set you up to basically be able to do the same things that many of the other affiliates in DS Domination right now are doing. And we have a ton of people now, interestingly, who have all hit 5 figures in DS Domination as affiliates. Okay, so you have your income coming in from eBay and using elite methods and so on, and then you have your affiliate income, which are 2 separate things. The thing about this income here is that it's directly proportional to your time. Okay, not massively, but it is. You do have to spend some time listing and you have to spend some time fulfilling those orders. But it's very, very beginner friendly. Okay, so that's why this is your beginning point. Okay, this is where you start. At this point, if you have no marketing experience and you don't know how to do affiliate marketing, if you've never made any money with that, and you just have no budget right now, I don't want you to think about affiliate side of things. I want you to focus on the easy stuff, which is trade some time for some money using the eBay and elite training. Okay, so go to Pro if you're a Pro member and use that. If you're an elite member, you use that. And once you understand that, once you have some money coming in from that, or you're ready to move on to affiliate for whatever reason, then we move on to affiliate. Okay, that brings up the first point. If you've not activated affiliate yet, go up here. You'll see affiliate status. Let's say inactive. Click on that, and that will make you an active affiliate. Okay, so do that. That will be an active affiliate. You'll have your link that you can go out and share with people and so on. Okay, now let's go ahead and discuss the whole idea of how I suggest that somebody who's just starting out, how you should go about building your affiliate side of income within DSD as well. Okay, now I'm going to use a very simple example. I'm going to use an example of a guy who is desperate. He's close to being broke, and he just has to make some money right away. And here's what I would do if I was in a situation. I would look around my neighborhood and I would try and find a service that I could provide to get some money for it. So I would look at some things like maybe mowing people's lawns, right? The easiest thing possible. So I would look around and I'd say, okay, I can go mow people's lawns. And the way I could do that is I could say, hey, you're currently paying $20 to mow the lawn. I'll charge 15. Okay, that would be undercutting somebody. Or I could out-title them. And if you've gone through the Pro training so far, you understand that out-titling is preferable. Out-titling would be that I would communicate with them differently. Instead of trying to undercut somebody, I would basically try and explain to them why they should have purchased this from me instead. So there would be many different angles I could use for that. For example, I might say local family-owned business. Okay, now that right there will appeal to a certain subset of the audience who would prefer to have somebody like this working for them, right? So these are basically ideas on how you understand your audience. So that's the first step. The first step is to understand your audience. And in our case, we understand our audience very well. Okay, DS Domination's audience is majority of the population right now because it helps anybody who's looking to develop an income without recruiting. At the same time, we have a second type of audience, which is people who are in MLMs. Okay, so 2 audiences that we have in DS Domination. network marketers, people who are already in other companies and so on and so forth, and then average people looking for income. Okay, there are two different types of people. Don't confuse them. Unfortunately, most people try to overlap them, and then you basically become annoying. Now, if I was starting this mowing company, what would I do? I would first go out in my immediate area, and I would go and I would post flyers. I would talk to some neighbors, right? That would be my warm market. Okay, that's my warm market. This is people that I have easy reach to and already have some communication with. Okay, this is a very crucial thing right here. The warm market is not going to be your entire business, but that can be the starting point of any affiliate campaign that you start. Okay, so the key thing over here is, imagine if you were to go and tell your neighbors that you've just started a lawn mowing business. You would not go to them and say, hey, I just started this, it could change your life, you really need to get this from me because it's so awesome, it's better than most of the lawn. That's not what you're going to do. You're basically going to just make them aware of it. So with warm market, don't be annoying, just share where you are in life. This is where things like Facebook and stuff come in, stuff that you saw with Roger last time around. Okay, basically talk with people like they're people, and that's it. Everybody understands how to talk with people. I'm not going to focus on the warm market very much because, like I said, it's a starting point. It's not the end all. This is not where you're going to make most of your money. Now, the way you're going to make most of your money is when you start scaling up that business. You're going to scale that up. You're going to hire people who will mow the lawn instead. You're going to start advertising massively so you can get a lot more people who will pay you to mow their lawns in many different places. And that's how you would scale up your business. That's how you eventually build an autopilot income, so to speak. So that's our goal as well. We are not going to focus on the warm market the whole time. At most, the warm market is like a little Kickstarter for us. It's going to give us some money. It's going to help us get going. But that's not what we are going to focus on. We focus entirely on getting more eyeballs on our stuff. Okay. Now, there are two parts to when you begin any mass marketing campaign. Okay. The first part is obviously getting the eyeballs on your offer. Okay. So this is your offer right here. It's DSD in our case. And here are the eyeballs that you want to get on them. And remember, though, that these eyeballs are connected to a brain. Now, if this is Roger's eyes in his brain looks like a donut. But most of the people's brains look like something else. And what you need to do is you need to understand there are two parts to this. One is targeting the eyes, which is actually getting the traffic. Okay, we call this part traffic generation. Everybody has heard of this. Everybody dreads it for good reasons. This is traffic generation, getting the eyeballs. And this is the difficult part. The second part is communication, which is communicating with the people behind the eyeball, okay, the brain behind the eyeballs. And that's actually not very hard to do. It's actually fairly straightforward. You can just be a very real human being with them and explain things to them, either with videos or whatever media you're using, with emails, with Facebook messages, or whatever you have going, or in your case, we will actually do that for you as well. But these are the two components, okay? Traffic generation is difficult and it is not profitable. It is actually the expensive part of your business. It is the difficult part of your business. This is the part most people spend their time learning how to do and then spending money on trying to get it going. And this is the part that I don't think that you should focus on if you're just starting out, okay? This is the part that you should focus on if you're just starting out, which is communicating with people, okay? So this is the part that you want to get rid of, that you want to outsource. Now, why is DS Domination so successful for the users? Here's why. We did not say to you, if you started when you joined DS Domination, we did not say, hey, here's a griddle, go sell this to someone, right? That's not what we said. We said, we will leverage eBay, Amazon, and other companies like it who already have the traffic, okay? So go where the traffic already is and then siphon some off, okay? Without being annoying about it. Very simple concept, right? It's very straightforward. And this is why you will not find me usually trying to teach the average person all the tips and tricks about copywriting and getting higher conversions and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, that stuff will bore you to death, one. Second, it's difficult to understand. And third, it'll bankrupt you before you make any profits from that. So we're not going to focus on that as much. We're going to focus more on, let's first of all go to the source of where traffic is and let's siphon some traffic from there. So in our eBay lead training and so on and so forth, we say, let's go to eBay. They already have the traffic. They're doing the hard. So you see where we're going with this. What is profitable and what is difficult are two separate things. We're going to focus on the profitable part, not on the difficult part. We're going to focus on the communication, not trying to convince people and not trying to generate the traffic. Okay, what are some of the simple ways that we can actually siphon traffic from places? What are some of the places we can get traffic for cheap or free and so on and so forth? Okay, some of the easy ones are obviously Facebook. You have your warm market there, or you have people in groups and stuff that you can reach out to. Okay, that's easy one. Last week we covered that in a lot of detail. If you haven't seen that yet, you can go watch that webinar later. Okay, so we're not going to go over Facebook. Another place is Craigslist. You can go make posts there. There's a bunch of traffic on there, and that's great as well, right? We can siphon some traffic there. We talked about that a little bit last time, and there is training available on Craigslist in your affiliate section and in Market Extreme. So you can go watch that later, okay? So Market Extreme training and affiliate training, watch it later if you haven't yet. Here's the problem though. Nobody on Facebook and nobody on Craigslist is there to make money necessarily, or to basically find business opportunities and things like that. So the only reason these two work is because of the massive amount of audience there. So now let's ask a logical question. A logical question is, where would I find people who are very open to the idea of making money, and they understand that they can make money online already? I don't have to convince them. I just have to speak their language. I just have to communicate with them, okay? And this is why, here is one of the little tips. One of the weirdest successes that I have had has actually been with traffic exchanges, which most of us know. Almost all of us know traffic exchanges have junk traffic, right? That people on there are broke or close to broke or so on and so forth. But there are also a lot of people on there who are trying to market, they're online marketers and so on. And the way you approach people who are on traffic exchanges or PTC sites, pay-to-click sites, the way you approach these people is by understanding their psychology. This is a guy who is on there clicking link after link, looking at pages because he's hoping that he'll get some advertising in return or get some money in return. And the way you approach them is with a very simple opt-in page, or actually it's not even an opt-in page, it's a very simple page. This is what my page would look like. It would be completely blank, okay, completely white, and this is all it said. Tired of clicking junk for pennies? Here's some free money. And this right here, the here's some free money, would be an image with a mouse clicking on it. Okay, so it would have like that famous. Okay, and you're not trying to get people to opt in. You're not trying to do anything like that. You're just trying to get them to click on this. It's called micro commitment. They're not going to give you your email right away, but they are going to click on this. When they click on this, you take them to a separate page. And now, at this point, you can start talking to them a little bit more about different ways of making money online, or you actually walk them through an entire micro commitment campaign, which goes something like this. You say, have you wasted time clicking on traffic exchange pages? Yes or no? You already know the answer. Yes, they're going to say yes. Then you go to the next question. Okay, you know they've said yes. You instead say, would you be excited to get a method of making money that's free and does not require any recruiting or traffic? And you obviously know the answer already to this one as well. It's going to be yes. They're going to click on yes. You're going to take them to the final page, which says, watch this video and you will get full instructions after that. You have a video, preferably a video that you made personally so you can brand yourself. And remember, focus on communication. You're just telling them in very simple terms, here is what I have experienced with DS Domination. And that's when you ask them for the email. Now, because you're built up with this micro commitment, by the time they get to that stage, the final video and then the opt-in, they're much more likely to opt in. But also what you've done is you've weeded out a lot of the people, you've weeded out all the fake traffic and stuff like that. And because this is so cheap or nearly free, the actual cost per lead from this came to about, and believe it or not, this is completely accurate. This is across 5,000 leads that were generated, something like 5,200 leads or something like that. And the average cost per lead came to 27 cents. Okay? So this was super cheap, it was super effective, and the people who came in from this, here was the interesting thing. They were not broke people who were looking to just, find some way to make money for free. Most of these guys were actually people who already were in some other company or had an affiliate program or were trying to make money online. They had money to spend, and they were trying to get traffic to their websites. Okay, that's why people go on traffic exchanges. So this is one of the methods that work really well. And all because we basically understand the psychology of people who are on sites like this. Now, you do have to be careful about which traffic exchanges you're using. They have to be real ones. You can't use the fake traffic ones. But this actually can be very effective if you're somebody who has very little budget or no budget whatsoever. Okay? Does everybody understand the idea of the things I've talked about so far? Communicating with people, understand the psychology of people, and not focusing on traffic generation too much. Not focusing on paid traffic right off the bat. Just understanding the first thing that you're going to do is just focus on understanding what people want. Okay? All right. So great. People do get it. That's beautiful. Let's talk about now the next point. The next point is, what do you do after this? So let's say that through whatever means, through solo ads, which we covered a little bit last time, or Craigslist or Facebook or traffic exchanges or whatever method you did, you got some eyes on your thing, and now you have them opted in. Now, how will you communicate with them going forward? Okay. Now, there are actually two very unique ways to communicate with people, and I suggest that you use both. Okay. So there are two ways, essentially. And guys, I want to first of all say something before I continue. All of the stuff that I'm talking about is marketing training. But I will also talk about the fact that you don't necessarily even need this training or need to use this training if you follow another line of plan that I'm going to give you guys at the end of this, okay? I just know that there are people who are in both directions, people who want to do this stuff and understand this stuff, and there are people who don't want to, and I'm going to give you the directions for both of you. Okay, so there are two ways to communicate with people, which is give them the offer or explain the offer. Okay, and this is exactly what it sounds like. Give them the offer is literally this. Here's what you asked for. And I'm not kidding. You can literally just say that line. Your first email that goes out to people could literally have the subject line, here's what you asked for, name. And then your email content will literally say, hey, awesome that you took the time to take the quiz or walk through my process, or it's great that you want to change your life. Here's specifically what you asked for. Here's the video that you asked for, or here's the ebook that you asked for. I hope you actually applied this. That's it. Super short, super to the point, nothing to it. Explain the offer is more like you explain the benefits of it. You're going to talk about, you're going to use testimonials, you're going to talk about what your life, what you've seen with it, and things like that. In this case, you're basically leaning more towards convincing people. Okay, so you're going to talk about your experience, testimonials or proof, like screenshots or Alexa ranking or whatever, things like that. And that's how you're going to put this in front of people. What I suggest doing is that you actually create an autoresponder sequence that uses both. Okay? And here's the other thing. If you're using Market Extreme, then this is all done for you. So you guys don't need to worry about doing this too much yourself either, because we actually follow up on your behalf. But there is a touch of personality that is required to both of these. In either case, you have to have a personality that hooks onto people. Like when you think of Roger and Hitesh on a webinar, you think of different things. Like actually, interesting enough, somebody just said recently, a big marketer actually, and he said, yeah, Roger and Hitesh, your stick is great because you are like fire and or oil and water or something like that. You're totally different. And Kevin is like the hang ten dude. Like he's the cool guy, and you both are just, making fun of each other. And that's fine. But that's basically something like a hook. Okay, that's like a personal way that people know you. So there has to be a personal way that people know you. The easy way to do that is you sign off your email with something like Hitesh, the crazy Indian. Okay, that would be one example. Or Roger, the donut man, Langit. Okay, That's one way. Obviously, you're not going to use this stuff. This might actually be offensive to some people. But you can say something like Roger the eBay guy, right? Or stuff like that. So you can use things like that. That's a very easy hook to go in to put in place when you're communicating with people. Okay? So,
Hey, Tesh?
yes.
I just want to clarify something. We're a little deep into this now, but somebody did come on and say, is this turning into an MLM rather than an eBay business? You may have seen a post on Facebook or something. Tonight's webinar is for affiliates that have decided that they want to share DS Domination with people. This is not a eBay webinar. Sorry if you made that mistake. eBay webinar trainings are on Wednesdays traditionally. Tonight's webinar is about sharing the program with other people. We made that announcement in an email, but you might have picked up the link on a Facebook post, and a few people might be a little bit confused as I saw a question roll in about, is this turning into an MLM rather than eBay business?
Right, and well, it's not really turning into an MLM because at the core of it, MLM is a distribution model. It's a model of distributing products. The difference is selling people on a reason versus actually speaking the truth to them. And so we can go into that. That's a whole other philosophical debate. But the point over here is that, yes, tonight is all about actually giving you guys marketing training and walking you guys through some of the stuff. Okay? Now, at this point, was all of this stuff clear to everyone? Did everybody understand some of the stuff that we have talked about so far? Do you understand how this might help you in your future lead generation, things like that? Okay, we're getting yeses. Very good. Awesome. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the second aspect to all of this, which is, so far, what is the thing that I've mentioned over and over? Leverage, right? Don't waste your time doing the hard stuff. Focus on leveraging and focus on the profitable part of things, right? So here's how all of this fits in also with DS Domination. Now, most of you, if you're affiliates, a lot of you already have Market Extreme as well. But I don't think most of you are actually using Market Extreme very effectively so far, okay? So let me explain what you're going to do here. Just like when we use pro training, we sell on eBay, right? We leverage eBay's traffic to make the sales. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to leverage Market Extreme to generate the traffic for us, and all we should focus on is really the profitable part, which is communication with the leads that come in, okay? So if you want to skip past all of the, let's focus on the traffic generation and how to drive the traffic and how to gain the traffic and how to convert them to leads and the opt-in page and the conversion rates. If you want to skip past all of that, then all you need to do is go into Market Extreme and just use that, okay? So if you're somebody brand new and you're like, I don't want to learn the stuff, it's annoying to me and I don't want to become a huge marketer in this way, I just want to know how to actually get results, then here is a very simple plan for you guys, okay? You start out with your eBay. Okay, so I'm taking example of somebody who has almost $0 and has almost zero experience with marketing. So you start out with $0 virtually. You're going to go ahead and start using the eBay stuff to start generating your first income. Okay, so you get your first income from there. Then you're going to take that income and instead of going out and experimenting with traffic generation, things like that, go and get Market Extreme traffic instead. Okay. So go to Market Extreme, then go to get leads, and then just use the profits that you're already generating to start getting the leads and the traffic done for you. So now you guys don't have to think about all of this stuff. You don't have to be on Facebook if you don't want or anywhere else. The only thing then you have to do at that point is communicate with the leads. Okay, which is as simple as one, set up an autoresponder, which we actually kind of do for you as well, which we actually follow up with these as well. We follow up with the leads on your behalf. And two, keep in contact with these people while building a personality, okay? Now here's the benefit of doing this second part. Keeping in touch with them and building a personality. Everybody says, right, oh, yeah, you don't have to do anything. Yeah, and you technically don't have to do anything. But I'm talking about your business down the road. Eventually, if you ever want to do something else or you want these people to be loyal to you and not to somebody else, which kind of is an idiotic thing for me to say as a business owner, right? I'm coming to you as a company owner saying, hey, We want to help you build loyalty yourself, not to our company, which is, kind of stupid. But at the same time, hopefully you understand why I'm doing that. It's because I want to make sure you guys have a long-term business in addition to what you're going to be making directly with DS Domination. Okay, and Roger, you can beat me up about this later. But the point over here is these are the people, this is what you really want to focus on. These people are going to be your business. This list is going to be your focus down the road as well. Okay, so you're going to do two very simple steps. Set up your autoresponder in Market Extreme, then use the money you're already making, use the profits only, and put that towards getting leads, so you don't have to do the traffic generation, you don't have to do the list building, and you don't have to do the follow-ups, and let us do that with your guys instead. Okay, does that follow along? How many of you guys actually know about Market Extreme or are using that properly right now? Okay, awesome. Yeah, well, awesome in one way, but also a lot of people don't even know about it. That's kind of sad. Okay.
Oh, it's not sad because we do focus a lot on eBay and we don't try and push everybody. We're very like, if you want it, raise your hand and we'll have it for you, right?
Yes, but it's sad because they've probably been focusing on learning how to generate traffic and things like that,
right? Which
I know is really hard. I mean, Roger, it was really hard for you, when you started out on this. So it's sad because I know how hard it is for a lot of people, and we don't like giving people hard stuff to do. Okay, I'm going to walk you guys through what Market Extreme looks like and how it works. You're going to go into Market Extreme, and you have two options. You have the option where we just give you a funnel, and I'll explain what that means, and you drive the traffic, which is good for you if you're a marketer and you know how to drive traffic. And then we have a second one, which is where we drive the traffic as well as we give you the funnel, which is basically hands-free for you, which is what you want to do if you are really focused on making an income with eBay right now, and you're just starting out, or you're like, you know what, I'm doing great with eBay, let me do that, and let somebody else handle this side of the things, then this is what you would do. So with the get lead stuff, here's how it works. You go to Market Extreme, and there's a bunch of training in here, and you can learn a lot about the things that I was talking about. But you go to get leads, and you're going to basically tell us which autoresponder you want us to build your list in. Okay, so you're going to say Aweber or get response. Let's say you selected Aweber, and your list is my DSD list. Okay, and then you're going to tell us how many leads you want. Now, here's the thing. This is totally scalable. So it depends on your budget. If you have a bunch of money that you already were setting aside towards marketing, you could use that here. Or if you're making, let's say, a $1,500 profit every week using your eBay and Elite stuff, then I would recommend taking something like a third to half of that, unless you need that for your family. Don't do that then. But if you have, let's say, $1,500 a week coming in, you should take about a third of that and reinvest that towards traffic on the affiliate side, so you can build an income out of that. So in that case, what I would do is I would put in about $500 towards my list building, towards my lead generator. $500. So I'm just basically going to type in 300 leads. It's going to tell me it's going to cost $555 for us to go out and drive the traffic to your pages and get the leads into your autoresponder. Okay. Now that means that you don't really do anything at all except just fill this form out. And this comment over here can be something like November 8th DSD leads. Okay. And you just click on this. It's going to create your account, and that's all you do. You don't do anything else. Now, here's what's going to start happening. Basically, over about 7 days or so, these leads are going to start coming in, and these leads will start getting added to your lists. And when they start getting added to your list, they'll automatically receive a follow-up email from you, and they'll receive a follow-up email from DS Domination itself on your behalf. Okay? So in each case, we are promoting your stuff for you, but it's really important, in my opinion, for you to do this yourself too. Now, if you're somebody who says, I don't want to follow with people, I don't even want to know that somebody exists other than me, then you can just not do this at all, and that's fine too. But I recommend that you do it, okay? Once you've done this, you click on Create Leads Order, and you're done. You can now sit back and go back and focus on your elite stuff or your pro training, and let us handle all of this traffic and stuff. Now, here's the fun thing. So yesterday, between the different traffics and the different things that we have going, we generated something close to 3,000 leads for the people who are in here. Okay, and we're speeding that up more and more and more because now we have so many people in there, and we were waiting for some forms that people had to fill out. So now that's speeding up way more. But we had about 3,000 leads that we generated yesterday, and we saw about $4,000 to $5,000 additional income come in from that. Okay, what that basically means is that this is very profitable right off the bat. Okay, and because it's so profitable right off the bat, over time, our aim is that the income that you make from Pro and Elite, you keep that to yourself. You stop reinvesting that profit, and you start only reinvesting the profit from the leads and from the affiliate income that you're making. So what's the long-term goal here? The long-term goal is to get you to a point where you have enough people in affiliate side that you have a passive income coming in. And here's how you calculate that, okay? So you start out and you go backwards. You say, I need $4,500 a month for me to have basically a freer life, or for me to have not to work this extra job, or for my wife to be able to stay at home, or whatever, right? So you start with that. You say, I need $4,500 a month for that. That would mean now each person in DS Domination on average is worth about $70 on average in their first month, and then $38 per month after that, okay? So that means if I referred Roger, okay, let's use a different name. Let's say if I referred...
yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, Mango. And Mango say... What we find is, across the board, after all the things that are accounted for, Mango will come and he will probably buy Pro, and a couple weeks later, he'll probably get Elite, and then he might get Unleashed or Monopoly, another 2-3 weeks later, something like that, okay? When we run our numbers, and I'm just giving you some insider data that we have access to. When we run our numbers, we find that this amounts to about $70 in commissions, okay, roughly 70. It's like between 69 to 74 or something like that in commissions on average per person, okay? Because some people will come and they'll just get Pro. Some people will come and they'll buy everything. But when you average it out across the thousands of people, actually over 10,000 people now that we have in DS Domination, it amounts to about $69 to $74 per person on average. And then further, remember, because Unleash and Monopoly is a one-time commission, and then further, it's about $38 per month going forward, okay? So here is what's happening. That means if I want to make $4,500 a month, I need to have roughly an organization bill of people in my team of about 150 people, okay, to be on the safe side. Because 150 people would give me close to $6,000 a month because of $38 per month, and that's really should be my aim. So 150 people as an affiliate, that's what I really need to do here. Of course, in my first month, when I do 150 people, then I would make a lot more money, right? Because I'm going to be getting much higher commissions. I would actually get more like $12,000 in my upfront income. But I'm working backwards. So to be on the safe side, I need 150 people. To get 150 people, how many leads do I need? So to get 150 people, we have basically come to the point where we realize that you basically get close to 4 sales out of every 100 leads that you have over a period of 1 month of follow-up, okay? That sounds kind of confusing, so let me write that down. It's close to actually 3.4 sales. And I happen to have a lot of this data because somebody was, another marketer who's going to be sharing this with some of the bigger marketers out there was asking for this data, so I have it compiled. 3.4 sales per 100 leads over 30 days of follow-up, okay? So that means if you generated 100 leads and you followed up with them for 30 days, you would get 3.5 sales out of that. So if I want to get 150 people in, and I'm getting 1 sale out of every roughly 30 leads, then I need to generate 4,500 leads. Okay? 4,500 leads, we can just go in here and see what that would cost us. 4,500 leads would amount to $8,325. So that's $8,325, which would be our total cost if we wanted to accomplish that out of pocket. Okay? This is basically our reverse calculation, going to the point, okay, so If I was just putting in $1,000 a month towards just lead generation, $1,000 which I'm making with eBay in DS Domination, then in 8 months, I would get to the point where I could quit my job or I could have my wife quit her job or things like that. Okay? So that's how you basically work up to this kind of stuff. Roger, do you have anything to add right now? Because I heard you say something.
Oh no, I was on mute. Might have been Kevin, but just I don't know if you're coming to it, but you also want to detail that your team member getting leads is also going to accelerate this process.
Right. Well, we will get to that in a few minutes.
I didn't say anything. You just called me up. Bye.
Okay, sorry. I heard something. I don't know if it was Kevin.
One thing you guys got to understand, here's Kevin. One thing you guys got to understand in this model is nothing out there converts, and nothing out there has the numbers that Hitesh is showing you. Speaking to the affiliates and speaking to the marketers on this line, there's nothing out there that is converting at this rate currently in our market space. There has been in the past, years ago. But right now, there's nothing out there like it. And the reason why it converts so high, and the reason why people go on to buy the Elite and unleash a monopoly days or weeks later, like Hitesh outlined here, is because they're actually making money. So this really, to me, goes back to the fact that we have the only product out there on the internet and has ever been released that the members with the product are making money. People are actually making money here. You can't do this anywhere else, and it hasn't been done anywhere else. So I just want to come out and say that these numbers represent to me something that is a kind of a phenomenon right now in our industry. You can't do this in a network marketing company with shakes or with coffee or with creams or lotions or potions or anything like that. It doesn't exist. So I just want to hop out and say that, and I'll let you go.
Beautiful, thank you. Now I'm going to talk about the dirty, dark secret behind all of these projections, right? Nobody, first of all, would give you a projection like this because they can't. But when they do, they would stop at the point of just stop, which paints a very rosy picture. Now I'm going to talk about the dark, deep, disgusting thing about all of this, which is called attrition. And that's the thing that nobody talks about because they dread telling somebody that, hey, this pipe dream actually has an end. Here is the end to this dream. The end to this dream is usually you get to 150 people, but guess what happens the next month? 50 of those people drop out. Now you have to build up to more 50 people again. Okay. Now in DSD, our rate of actually keeping people in is very, very high. You've seen statistics from us before. It's like about 87% or so for pro, and then it's like 94%, 93%, something like that for elite. So it's very, very high. But even at that high rate, consider what that really means. That means roughly 10% of the people dropping out. That means every month 15 people dropping out, right? Or well, 15 people the first month, and then about 13 people the second month, things like that. Nobody has to really talk about this because it makes it sound like you have work to do forever. And you would have work to do. This is why, though, we built the whole system the way we did. This attrition will be offset by your downline's growth. Okay, now remember, these numbers are based on your income from your sales. Now, these people, out of these 150, not everybody will go out and start promoting stuff, but about 50 people in our experience, like about 30% of the people will become an affiliate and they will start building a downline as well. If anybody does that, that will basically help offset your attrition by your downline. Okay, so offset by your downline. And this is why I so very much insist that you guys understand this part, that these people are real people. Don't think of them just as numbers. And all of these people, if you really keep in contact with them and you tell them every Wednesday, hey, there's a pro training, go attend that, or there's elite training, go attend that, or help them out here and there. You don't have to turn into a support desk for them, but help them out. Even something like they write you, hey, I have this problem. If you can just write them back and say, you should probably go write this in the support desk and they can help you better, at least you've maintained contact with them. What will happen is you will see a much higher number of people in your downline who will actually start proceeding through the process, making the income with eBay, eventually becoming affiliates, and then they will offset your attrition pretty much going forward forever. And this is why when I talk about the requirements for a good business model, I say that number one is it should be residual. Second is it should have leverage, because without leverage, the attrition will destroy you. Okay, so really wanted to hammer that home. You guys really want to focus on communicating with people. Now, if you were following this plan, which is let's make money with eBay, use that money to get leads with Market Extreme, and let Hitesh and the others go out there and do the traffic and the leads and stuff, and we focus just on talking with people like real human beings, your life becomes much simpler, right? Because then you can do what DS Domination is about. You leverage eBay to make money there, then you leverage Amazon and other places that we have in the advanced trainings. You leverage those, and then you leverage DS Domination itself for the traffic generation. And all you focus on is two things. You keep in contact with your buyers on eBay, and you keep in contact with your leads in DS Domination, and that's it. So as close as you can possibly ever get to complete autopilot income and complete autopilot systems, basically this is how you would get there. Okay, so does this plan kind of make sense? Kind of make you understand what we're talking about? Beautiful, awesome.
Hitesh, there's been a couple comments in here from people saying that they've been on a lot of trainings before, and what you're going over right now is awesome. It's just amazing. It's pure gold. And I love these trainings that we do, guys, because typically in most network marketing companies, if you've ever been involved with them, and Tyler just said it is gold. If you've ever been involved with a network marketing company in the past, and you went to one of their training, it was nothing but a hoorah, hoorah, we can do it. Don't worry about anything bad. Focus on the good. And they don't expose these numbers. They don't show you these numbers. They don't even bring up attrition, which our attrition rate we're still shocked every time we look at the numbers because people just seem to never quit DS Domination. But a lot of the companies that we were in, going back to that attrition, it was like, yeah, you hear Roger grumbling because it's not because he's got a donut he wants to put down. Ha I got drug. It's because the attrition was horrible. If someone didn't make money, which was borderline nobody, they got out in a couple of months. Here, it's insanely reversed. The numbers are totally reversed. The amount of people that are making money here is staggering. So it's cool that we can come on here and we can actually talk and be honest with you and show you the numbers and show you what we're seeing because they're better than everybody else. So just awesome.
Well, I'll piggyback on that. And when Hitesh kind of spliced the page and talked about the email going out where you could just give them what they asked for, here's what you asked for, or describe the program to them. Honestly, I grabbed a pen and I was like, oh, I got to write that down. That's a great idea. And I got to, I'm like, nah, I don't have to market. I don't have to, but wow, that's fantastic to know that right there, give them that offer, explain the offer. And I was like, wow, I got to file that one away for a rainy day, but geez, that's powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when he was going over the traffic exchange training, guys, it's already been kind of a long webinar. We're going to keep going, but when he was going over the traffic exchanges and he made that page, I thought for those of you who are in Marketing Extreme tonight, you're going to see that capture page in there along with the other capture pages that I have in that training in there. So that'll be in there tonight. I've already got the capture page done on my desktop. We'll get that up to you guys. We'll give you a list of traffic exchanges. So our training that we do on these webinars as they go out, as Hitesh is showing you this capture page and what it would look like, I'm making it in the background for you. So you can immediately go implement this stuff. For those of you who are in Marketing Extreme, you can immediately go back there and start generating those leads with this. So huge stuff. This is one of the reasons that I love doing what we do here.
Well, back to the network marketing story that I kind of kicked off the call with. That I was, talking about the trials and tribulations of travels and growing a team and stuff like that. I wanted to bring up this point later on in the webinar was, I would fight tooth and nail to try and lift somebody up and kind of empower them to do something. In the other companies, and mostly every company with a physical product, the only successful means you're going to have is to have parties in your home, in your hotel rooms at all. And those will meet with minimal success. So what I had the strong capability to do was get someone to do something that they didn't want to do. So I was one of the very few online marketers that have hundreds of parties in companies because I would talk to folks and they would give me their excuses and I would fight through them. And they talk about living in a small apartment and things like that. And I've talked about finding your why and what's more important, helping your grandmother out that you just said you wanted to help out versus your apartment's dirty and things like that. And the one time I did have a party in another company, I actually had it at our clubhouse here in our community because I didn't want people over at my house. So I had that ability, and as I was reaching out to people and I was getting very frustrated with society in general, that, man, you can't even lift yourself up. You can't do this to have a party. And I was completely wrong because it's nearly impossible to have parties and people over, especially if you get off at 9 to 5. And I would stay on calls. I know I'm being hypocritical because I'm home all day and you got to come home from work and that grind and that traffic. You're exhausted. I'm trying to get you to have a party on your one day off. And, a lot of people I couldn't lift up. A lot of people couldn't be successful. But here, I can honestly say, even though I'll admit, honestly say in the other companies that everybody could do it. And if you didn't do it, you were somewhat lazy in mind, or you needed something. You need to empower yourself. You need to dream bigger. You need to go for it. You need to get rid of your fear, all those cliche sayings. But here, I know with absolute certainty that everybody can do it, but all it takes is action. And, I never believed in storyboards and vision boards and dreaming and stuff like that. I mean, I did coach some of it. I did do it in my mind. It did work in other companies. I wasn't extraordinary at coaching in that direction. But here, really, all you need is some sort of motivation. And I'll tell you, I do have a shortcoming. I had no interest. I shouldn't say I have no interest. And Hitesh will testify to this if we have late night calls. I had no interest in going to Egypt, going to Europe, going to Australia, going down the road, leaving my city, going absolutely anywhere. I had no interest in that whatsoever. And I'd see a new car, a new boat, a new house, and I could care less. I'm a comfortable guy. I didn't want for anything. As my kids came along, I started enjoying life through them. But as I started understanding that life is limited, and I started getting that dream of going over and hanging out with Kevin in Japan, or going somewhere with Hitesh, or going to Las Vegas in the near future and meeting a couple thousand folks in a room and things like that. As I started dreaming about that has me motivated to get on the help desk 24 hours straight last night and help people out. That has me motivated to go bigger and further than I ever have before. So I encourage you guys, as easy as this is, it does take massive action, and you'll only take that massive action if you have a goal, and you're only going to get that goal in a quiet place to yourself in a corner when your goal is not just to get out of that job or just to get that extra vacation, but to get to Tokyo on a Tuesday afternoon just for the heck of it. Back to you.
Awesome. Well, I would not go to Tokyo just for the heck of it. You can go to Tokyo to meet Kevin, but I would not go just for no reason.
I'm not Kevin.
And yes, I can actually testify. I've talked with Roger a lot and Kevin a lot. We've had lots of discussions, and it's very interesting how we've all influenced each other. We've all been changing our mindsets and things like that. And I'm not saying, train your mindset in the way like something hokey, like, or train your mindset so you can attract the universe's blessing, or something weird like that. I don't buy that stuff. I think okay, let me first of all say this. This is something that Roger will testify to, that I am like basically a machine when I come to some things. Like, I will calculate things out and I will say, this is what we need to do to get to this position. And it doesn't matter if I do it with a great attitude or with a bad attitude. As long as I do those steps, it's going to still work. So if you go out there and you list on eBay and you follow the training, even if you're grumbling about it, you will get some sales. Now, I don't suggest that you grumble about it. Okay, obviously, you don't want to be one of those stiff-necked people, but you want to actually take action. You want to understand where you're going and why you're doing what you're doing. So this is why I thought sharing these numbers was really important, and explaining the whole concept was really important. But there's one more thing that I want to emphasize out of this whole thing. There are two things really. First of all, everything I explained to you, did you notice that I never once said your upline or your sponsor or anything like that? Did you realize that at no point did we say, you should get in touch with your upline and they will help you with whatever? Because you don't need to. This is all about you and you taking action. This has nothing to do with somebody else. You don't need to say, well, the guy that introduced me, he doesn't need to talk to me now or something like that. Don't worry about it, okay? Forget about that stuff. Just take action on the plan that I showed you today. And obviously change these numbers, right? Change this 4,500 to whatever you want to make and then go from there, okay? Two other things. I saw these questions. Somebody else asked about safe lists and stuff. I haven't done safe lists personally. That's why I didn't mention it. But I think the same mindset applies to safe lists, that of psychology applies to safe lists, that traffic exchanges do. The people on safe lists are looking to promote their own business. So obviously they are going to be open to this. I've just never tested them myself, so I'm not going to promise that they're any good. Okay, so there's that. Emmanuel, you asked, does this convert better than blank? And you gave me a company, and I, beyond a doubt, it's like 1,000 times better in terms of conversions. And I'm saying that based on numbers, not something else. There was one question that had come in here, which I thought was really important, and I can't find that question specifically.
Well, while you're looking for that, Hitesh, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, guys. This is one thing we don't want you to do. We don't want you to actually go out there and spend your money on something that may or may not work. So I'm going to test out some safe lists, and I'll get back to you guys on the results. They'll be in the back office. Just give me a week or two. I have used safe lists in the past, and they actually converted very well with the right offer. And at the time that I was using them quite extensively, they were converting very, very good. So
right. Well, I've used safe lists in the past for other stuff. I just never tested DS Domination or something similar to it for it.
Yeah. So I'll test that out. We'll get them the data.
Hey guys, go ahead.
Yes.
Well, not to jump all over the place, but just something came to mind that I was going to do earlier in the webinar that I wanted to bring out when I was talking about action, things like that. And if you've been in here any length of time, you've heard about a 15-year-old gentleman out of Florida, and I haven't been able to communicate with his mom to make sure she's on mic, so this just might blow up in my face, but we're going to give it a try. In the realm of taking action and stuff like that, on the Christmas webinar that I did recently, I mentioned some items, and one of them was nativity scenes. Now, if you heard that, then fantastic. If you went out and executed that, then fantastic for you. But if you did hear that, you didn't take action, so that just sounds silly. What a nativity scene's not going to sell. I'd like to bring out at least a mom. I don't know if Charlie's there with her, to talk about what happened when she went ahead and, or Charlie down in Florida went ahead and listed the nativity scenes. He's been doing extremely well with the course, and I'll preface this by saying his mom monitors everything, and everything's in her name because he's 15 years old. You have to be 18 to eBay, but let me see if she can come out and speak to us. But what happened when they took action on a game plan? Ms. Ramirez, are you here? You are unmuted if you are here.
All right. How are you, Rob? Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you loud and clear.
Well, I want to share a little bit of the story, and I'll make it as brief as possible. But throughout this whole experience that we've had with DS Domination, we have never had an eBay account in our lives, nor ever made an eBay purchase until September. We knew this was launched in August, but until September that we actually decided to take action. And, I have to give full credit to my 15-year-old son, who was sitting behind me when I first sat in a webinar, and he says, that sounds really good. And he realized that he couldn't have an eBay account, so I had to open one, and so did his dad, in order to help him with his endeavor. And he seldom misses a webinar. I mean, he is a student, so sometimes he does. But he has changed, his life too, as far as understanding what business is all about. One thing about kids, they understand money, and they understand how to get other people and leverage other people's ideas to win. And he's done it with a few products, and one of them happened to be the nativity set. And what ended up happening is that we actually sold everything the supplier that we found had. So I sent him a text when I knew he was at lunch, and I was ready to just throw my hands up. I said, okay, we'll just have to refund this last one because it's not going to happen. And he says, oh no, Mom, you have to go find those you have to find another place, talk to Roger. And I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do. So I drove about 20 some miles to each way to pick one up, one at a physical location. And then he encouraged me to continue to do research, and I found someone that would let me hold 7 of them. And I offered to buy 2 right off the spot just to gain their trust. And they said, oh no, we'll just hold them for you. So, I have to encourage you, because a lot of you that are on here have way more experience than I have and that my son has. But it's something that I've been involved, like Ross, in other endeavors, chasing that pipe dream. But this is real. The money hits the PayPal. You can transfer it, you can spend it, you can save it. You can do whatever it is you desire to do. And, it's for my son, it's a benefit to him because it teaches him to connect, the schooling with the real world as well. And the fact that he doesn't have to have a school loan when he does go to college, and things like that. And, it's just very rewarding. And I thank you, Roger, for that. And I thank Roger all the time and he doesn't, he says you don't have to do that, but in reality, it was something that just came up when thanks to DS Domination. So it's all you have to do is listen to Roger, and you get a lot of ideas. My son's really good at it, so just listen to Roger.
Did you hear that, Hitesh? Listen to Roger. I don't say anything.
I heard that, and you just spoiled it. I was about to say something really nice about you, but you had to go ahead.
I had to spoil it. All right. So really quick, the item. Correct me if I'm wrong. We communicated on Facebook. We ran into the troubles, and we were both teaming to try and find that replacement. And then you went out and found the replacement. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those items were, I think, marked up about 120 a piece. And then after they're selling like crazy, marked up to 150 a piece. And then I gave you some advice to you got the market cornered down. So, but you were making it was marked up $120, $150 a shot. Is that correct?
That's correct. And this morning we sold one, and I followed your advice for $4.99.
$4.99. And what was the cost on it?
$2.49.
That's so funny. I just big smile, big chills in my body. I'm just incredible. And that's wow on that. And you guys are doing it. And I'm so proud of you. And thanks for your time tonight. I really look forward to having Charlie on the call one day. Okay.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you. Take care. Just massive action there. Just took the action and took steps. And some people were on that webinar going, "Oh, I should have went out and did that." And that product, and it wasn't a secret place. It was in the elite training as well. So. I want to do that, and great job to you. Back to you, Hitesh.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to say this, even though Roger kind of rained on his own parade for a second there. I work with a lot of people, but Roger is genuinely interested in people's goodwill. And actually, that might be a very unique thing about our company is that all 3 of us, our real aim is to make sure that people are successful. But in particular with Roger, he was up until like 4 or something last night, just answering people in the help desk. And this is a guy, he's one of the owners of this company, which is the fastest growing company out there right now. We have like 10,000 some payment. He doesn't have to do this kind of stuff. And we are training more people just because that's just, we need help with more people, and so we're training them. But he's there, and like he's like talking with people. And every now and then, I talk with people as well, especially when it comes to technical stuff, and I'm not working on code and stuff. And Kevin when he's not at the Air Force Base. But really, if you could, every now and then, just send a little support ticket that says, "Thanks a bunch, Roger," and just tell us what's going on that's good with you, because that makes a huge difference in our day when we just see 1 or 2 people who say something like that. So it's just awesome. Just wanted to say that. Now,
No, do it all the time. Make it a routine.
No, don't do it all the time. If you do it all the time, we would have a problem. That's what it is. So, okay, just now I want to get to the good stuff, okay? Because everything up until now was like, okay, training, blah, blah, blah. But we have nearly 1,000 people on this call, even now, after an hour and 15 minutes. And I would really like to start talking about some of the awesome stuff, okay? And some of the surprises that I mentioned in the email. So there are actually 2 surprises. First of all this projection that I just showed you guys, okay? And you can play around with the numbers. Assume my projection is off by a figure of 100%. Go ahead and double this. Okay, say it'll take you 9,000 leads and assume that it'll cost you twice as much. It'll cost you $16,650 instead. Just assume that, and you will still come out way ahead. This will be an awesome business, right? So I want to put that in your head first. Now, our aim is to make sure that you guys hit your goals as quickly as possible and just do really, really awesomely well. So there are two things that we're going to do. Okay, the first thing is, and this is only for the attendees of this webinar tonight. Okay, this is not an offer. You'll not find this in the members area or anything like that. If this whole thing made sense to you, if you go tonight, get Market Extreme, or if you already have Market Extreme, that's fine too. If you go to Market Extreme and you set up a campaign today, okay, and you get leads today for the first time, the first thing I will do is we will immediately just add 10 leads to your account right off the bat. On top of that, whatever leads you get, we will pay for an additional 20% leads for you guys. So if you went in and you said, I'm going to get 100 leads, then we will add 20 extra leads in there just because we really want to encourage you guys. I want to make sure that you understood all of this. Now, don't do this if you don't understand everything we just talked about. Okay, this is for two reasons. One is there are some of you who have been helping us with this. You have actually been running campaigns for a long time, and we've been going through back and forth trying to fix some things, making this really streamlined and stuff. And I'm just being very honest about this. Most companies would just pretend like it's been beautiful since day one. It wasn't perfect since day one. But those of you who have done that, I'm actually going to go in and add a bunch of leads to all of your campaigns anyway. But because so many of you have been patient, and because I really want most of you guys to understand how beautiful it is to wake up and just see that you have a bunch of leads and not having done anything for it, we would be really happy to do this for you. It eats into our costs as well and all that stuff, and that's fine. We don't care. We just want you guys to do well. Okay? Again, let me make a very clear disclaimer though. If you guys don't have the money to get Market Extreme and you don't have money to get leads right now, and it's a difference between you paying a bill or you paying for food for your family or something like that, do not buy this stuff. Okay? This is really for those of you who are going through stuff to see everything and how well it's going, and you're ready to actually expand your affiliate side of income. Go and do that. We're happy to help you guys with that. Okay? That's the first thing. Now, the second thing, on the 15th of November, we will be launching our leaderboard and extra cash contests. Okay? And here's what this amounts to. There are going to be two things in here.
Yes.
First of all of you who are going to be generating sales, there'll be obviously a competition, right? There's a contest, the top guys are going to make a bunch of money. That's great, awesome, yay, good for them. And I'm not putting that down, I'm saying that's awesome. But for everybody else, we're actually going to have thresholds. So if you generated X number of sales, regardless of if you are 1,000th in the leaderboard, but you generated X number of sales, we're going to give you some reward to go with that. It might be an iPad, it might be your ATV, it might be your workout equipment. We'll give you a bunch of options. You can choose between that, or you can choose the cash option, and you can just get the cash for it as well. So this will actually add to your income from the affiliate side of things, and it will actually add a lot more things to you in general, just because it will create a lot more excitement about things, and it'll be easier for you to get sales as well. Okay, so that's the other thing that's going to be happening on the 15th of November. Now, in addition to that, I haven't discussed this with Roger in all the detail yet, but we will also be putting up a leaderboard for people who are using eBay. And you guys will basically be able to log your sales and tell us what you're doing. You just have to log your sales and show us the kind of results you're getting. And we're actually going to reward the people who are actually using the product. Doesn't matter if you have 0 affiliate sales. We're going to reward you if you're using the product and you're getting awesome results. We're going to put you in a leaderboard on that, and we will reward you just for that as well. It'll be added to your account balance, and here's what you can do. When it gets added to your account balance, starting the 15th of November, you will be able to purchase Market Extreme or Unleashed or Monopoly with the money in your account without having to use a credit card, and you'll be able to use that money to then buy leads. And you don't have to even put your own money out of pocket for that kind of stuff. So if you just do really well and you use eBay and you follow the pro and elite trainings really well, and you're doing good with that, we're going to reward you for that as well. So you can start doing the affiliate side of things, even if you don't understand it. Okay? So does everybody understand what we just talked about, or what this means? Because at about this time, I would expect there will be a lot of people going in and setting up their campaigns and getting their lead flow going and prepping themselves for all the good stuff. And
I want to be on the leaderboard.
yeah, but Roger can't be on the leaderboard. Now, I will also give a special award to anybody who detects Roger on the leaderboard under fake names, because he has a habit of using it. If you see a donut man in there or you see whatever, just let us know. We don't want him on there.
Nice.
Okay, let me set some expectations quick too, please. Here's how the lead flow goes. This will keep getting faster and faster. Like I said, yesterday we did a ton of leads. We're going to scale that up quite a bit. But here's how it works. You place a lead order, it goes into rotation, and give it about 7 days before it begins. Okay, just for now. And now here's why I'm saying for now. There are a lot of users, and well, not a lot, but about 30, 40 different users who have already created campaigns in the past. And we're going to prioritize them at first. And the reason I'm going to prioritize them is because they waited for a while we were fixing things. And if we came across any issues, we were working on them. So just to thank them, I'm going to add some leads to their accounts and I'm going to prioritize them. And then everybody else from this point on is going to go into rotation. You're going to see leads hitting your account within 7 days or so. It could be a little faster than that, but let's just set expectation of 7 days. And in the future, though, once we hit that point, everybody goes in the rotation and you will start seeing leads coming in a lot faster. So it might be like within 24 hours, your leads will start coming in. And then eventually we aim to have your lead order finished up within 2-3 days at most. Okay. So that's the idea behind this, how this works. Here is what you should do if you are going to do this. Okay. Here are my practical action steps. Step 1, get an autoresponder if you don't have one. Okay, Aweber or get response. Actually, you know what? Let me revise this. This would be your step 3.
My
Okay.
lead problem. You always said we've been waiting for a while.
Step 1,
Some of us.
activate affiliate if you have not done so. Okay,
How?
click
I'm
on
gonna purchase
Awesome.
more than that.
activate here next to status. Okay, that will be in the header of the website. When you log into your account, you should see that right up there. Your second step is obviously going to be do the exact same thing. Activate Market Extreme. Okay, that will give you access to a bunch of training. It will give you access to you creating your own campaigns with the opt-in pages. We give you the opt-in pages. We give you the follow-up things to do. We give you the traffic generation techniques and all that good stuff. We give you the tracking in there as well. But you can go ahead and activate Market Extreme and get all of that. Step 3 would be to get an autoresponder. And step 4 is to place a lead order. Okay? And to place a lead order, all you have to do is literally just go to Market Extreme and go to Get Leads right here. Okay? And that's it. That's all you guys have to do. Everything else, from following up with people, which will happen automatically, to traffic generation, which will happen automatically, the opt-in page creation happens automatically, to making sure the conversions are high will happen automatically. And keep in mind that you're actually paying for the leads, not for traffic. So when we go out and we source the traffic, if we end up getting junk traffic and it doesn't convert, we don't just come to you and say, hey, by the way, that didn't work out, so too bad. That's fine. You paid for the lead, so in the end, you're going to get those leads. We will just eat the extra cost if we have to. Okay? So
If you're on here now, write down those steps, because you'll come back in an hour and you'll look underneath that Market Extreme pack and you'll say, do I get the leads, or do I generate the leads? What's a premium lead? Where am I supposed to be here? Okay, so please make sure you write that down, because I've been in Market Extreme a little bit. And I was back there last night doing some videos, and Kevin was doing some videos, and I was like, okay, which one was it? And just for a hot second, I was kind of I'm a little bit forgetful. So write that down. It's going to be very important.
This here. Go to Get Leads. Okay? And then for down the road, step 5 is go to training and learn about marketing. This is optional. You guys don't have to do this if you don't want to, because we are going to be doing the marketing for you. But if you want to, you want to learn about it, you want to become good at it yourself, which is always good to have a skill set, go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's basically it. Okay, regarding the questions about can you integrate this company and that company and so on and so forth instead of just AWeber and GetResponse, we can integrate any company, but there are some strategic reasons why we have to wait for some of them. For example, GVO is going to be coming in some time. GVO is going to be coming in some time. There are others we can look at, but you also have to remember that we have tens of thousands approaching users. Well, not approaching, we are beyond 10,000, but we are pretty soon at the end of this month, looks like going to hit probably close to 20,000 already. We have to keep in mind that there needs to be enough demand for us to do something. We've had maybe 2 or 3 people ask us for a couple companies. We can't add them in just for 2 or 3 people's sake usually. Okay, so just want to be clear on that. Okay. Are leads additional costs after the 1 night? Yeah, the leads are your cost. Basically, instead of you going out and buying traffic, look, this is the standard process of lead generation. Okay, this is what you would do if you said, I want to generate some leads. The first thing you would do is you would create an opt-in or a squeeze page. Okay, so let's call this the squeeze page. And this page looks something like this. There is a heading up here, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a punchline right here, a subtitle or something. And then you ask for their name and email. They fill out this form, and then there's a submit button. Okay, that's squeeze page. First of all, you would create that. You would get an autoresponder company. You would set up an autoresponder campaign to go with this, which is writing about 10 emails. Then you would put the code on this page. Then you will drive traffic to this page. Now, this traffic isn't magical. It costs you either in time or in money, usually in both. So let's say you went and got a solo ad, or you got some kind of a traffic source. Let's say you spent $500 and you generated 1,500 visitors from it. Okay, that's pretty nominal. 30 cents a visitor is actually it's kind of on the cheap side. Usually you will end up spending more than that by the time you're done. And you can get some cheaper traffic by, like, for example, using Facebook ads, and then you get them on a fan page and then share stuff with them. But that's going to take you like a week and a half to 2 weeks to do. It's going to cost you. You'll have to run your campaigns on Facebook, and then you have to get those fans and engage them and stuff. It's actually a lot more complex than you might have heard about. So I'm just telling you up front, 30 cents a visitor is usually a pretty decent, quick cost if you're getting traffic quickly. And then you have to monitor the conversion rate on this. So you have to run some split tests and see what your conversions look like. So let's say that your conversion rate was 25%. Okay, now you might think that's a little on the low side. But when you start doing a lot of traffic, you will see your conversion rate slowly go down. So when GVO did their big launch, their conversion rate across over was 16% on their opt-in page. Okay, so it's just a reality of life. Again, most people don't talk about this because it's easy to say it converts at 50% and you make a bunch of money. Well, it doesn't happen all the time. But you get 25% conversions. So out of the 1,500 people, a fourth of them are going to go ahead and become leads in your system for you now, right? So now they become leads over here, and now you're going to spend time following up with them, and now you're going to send follow-up emails to them. Okay, so you will create emails, you will create videos, and so on and so forth. Now, I wanted to walk through this process and understand exactly what happened in this whole thing. You basically generated about, how much is that, Roger? 325 leads, if a fourth of them converted. So you generated 325 leads for a cost of $500. $375 for $500, and then you have to do all the work to create the squeeze page. You have to monitor this campaign over here. You have to create the follow-up emails and so on and so forth. What we are doing is we're saying, listen, outsource this whole thing so you don't have to do any of this. We'll create the squeeze page. We'll drive the traffic. We'll convert them to leads. We will do the follow-up emails. You will just pay for this result right here. You will not pay the traffic cost. What happens if you get a bad traffic source and instead of converting at 25%, you convert at 10%? or the leads are just junk or something like that. What do you do in those cases? So we basically take care of all the stuff. When we send the follow-up emails, we invite them to the webinars, and when they come on the webinars, we will explain to them all the things. Like tonight's is a training webinar for affiliate stuff, but we do prospect webinars every Tuesday. If they buy then you get the credit for that sale. So this whole complex thing, this whole machine is going to be run by us instead of you trying to run it and learning about it and so on. So that's the benefit that you get out of just getting us to do the leads.
Real quick, I want to let you guys all know the instructions that Hitesh had up there. I took a snapshot of that and put it up online for you. So I'm sending you guys the link. You can see that. If you guys don't know what the steps are, you missed it, or you're trying to write it down really quick, just click on the link I just sent everybody. It's got those exact steps there.
Did you already send the link?
I also scribbled down all of those steps, and I will be mailing them to you. Priority put. I'm just kidding.
And you'll be getting a postcard with them. And when you walk out tomorrow, you'll see a billboard with all of the instructions on it.
There is a
Can you fly it
skylight
on your car?
Yep.
And you've all been retargeted.
All right. Okay. So that's all about the leads. Everybody, please make note of this right here. Okay, that we have 15th of November. We have the leaderboard with the extra commissions, extra rewards, cash prize, and things like that. That's going to start on the 15th of November, which obviously will kind of take over the internet for a while. And our webinar, it looks like you guys, the audience, you guys didn't see the notice, but Roger, Kevin, did you see that notice just now?
Someone's not allowed into the webinar because it's
Too many people.
Yeah, we actually maxed out the webinar tonight, and people
on a
weren't allowed
Friday
in.
night.
Yeah, on a Friday night, with a 5-hour notice. So we kind of maxed out the webinar tonight, and so this will start happening a lot more often. So again, this is one of those places where communication plays a big role. If you have downlines, well, here it is again.
There's
And
another
just so
one.
you guys know, we're not pulling your leg. I'm gonna put a screenshot.
There's
here.
another one.
And we're gonna mail that
Yes, it's-
screenshot.
we're getting
There's
this
a
notice
link
right here.
to the screenshot.
So this is an hour and a half in. So they're an hour and a half late still trying to get on. It's
Yep.
craziness.
Okay, so I guess the point is, if you guys have a downline or you have people in your team below you and stuff like that, make sure you give them advance notice and tell them, hey, you want to jump on the webinar, because we're getting, I think this next week, we're going to max out the pro webinar. We're going to pretty close to max out the elite webinar. We're going to max out our prospect webinar, and the affiliate webinar has already been maxed out. It will be maxed out again. So my point being, this is getting annoying because it keeps popping up over and over. My point being, you guys need to really make sure that you focus on the communication aspect. That's the profitability there. Okay, and forget about all of this difficult, hard to do stuff. You don't need to do the traffic, and you don't need to do all of the stuff. All right. Did anybody have any questions about the stuff that we went over today, or you had any difficulties or things like that? Okay, Patrick, I see your message about the $500 thing. I'm going to check on. Actually, you know what, Kevin? Can you check on that right now? Just check on the initials field. Check if the box is in there or not. And if there isn't, just uncheck the option within our admin area so people can go through it.
Oh, which question? I keep getting that pop-up where people are trying to
Yeah,
get
I'm getting it too.
getting annoying. So
Okay,
where's
Patrick,
the,
listen. I'm going to do that right after we get off this webinar anyway. Okay.
is this
So
back
anybody
on
who's trying to purchase $500 worth of leads in a go, when you try to add balance to your account, if you're getting any issue with the $500, don't worry about it. We'll go take care of it in a second. So you'll be able to do that. But you can still use the 250 and the 100 options. Okay, what were you saying, Kevin? I'm sorry.
Nothing. I got the answer.
Okay.
And real quick, did everyone get that link I sent out? If you guys can just hop in there and let me know. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah. Looks like people got the link. Okay, some people said they didn't. Can you just put it in the chat box here too, Kevin? No? So everybody gets it. Okay, Michael, we actually have some emails already created that are in training. You can use those. You can just put them in. But like I suggested, you should really consider. Kevin, can you give me the link in Skype? I'm going to post it over here because I know how to make it clickable.
All right.
But what I was saying earlier before I interrupted Kevin with that stuff was if you want to use your own autoresponder with this, like I suggested earlier, I really suggest you create some of your own emails. They can be super simple and straightforward. They can be more convincing or include your information in there or include your experience in there. But I really suggest making it more personal. And here are some examples of things that you can send out in these kind of follow-ups that you send to people. You can send out Tuesday night webinar link. Okay, that's in your affiliate area. So when you go to your affiliate section, I'm going to have to log in again. Go to link and promo tools right here. And you're going to find this webinar link. This is your live webinar registration. So when you send this link, then people will receive this live webinar registration. When they sign up for this webinar on Tuesday, they'll be cookied to you. So you can get credited for those sales when they happen. So send them this Tuesday night webinar. Send replays of previous webinars. Replays of webinars. And send them screenshots. Showing that what your results are or other people's results are and so on and so forth. And that would be very easily, if you just sent those things, you can have 7 to 10 emails just from that. And your emails don't have to say anything except, hey, here's the webinar replay. There's tons of awesome content in here, and you can really see how you can do this with zero cost. So watch this webinar, especially watch the 54-minute mark, where they show you how to get everything in here completely free. And you will get people to watch the webinar. Okay, Kevin, can you give me the link quick? Is Kevin still around? Okay, sorry, can you give me the link in Skype and I can, yeah, we can hear you now.
I already did. Oh, wait a minute, I'm off. And there you go.
All right, now we all have busy lives. We're just waiting for one thing. We want to get you guys a link because many people got a link that wasn't clickable. So let me just send you guys this link quick. Okay, now do you guys get a clickable link in the chat? Okay, awesome. So now everybody has the link. You can click it. You can see the instructions on there. Those are the instructions for tonight. They apply to everybody, basically, to all of you. You can do it tonight. You can do it in the morning. But as long as you follow those instructions, the things that I mentioned will happen. If by any chance, well, it's not going to happen, but if by any chance we do not add extra credit to your account or something like that, then please just open a support ticket. But there's really no way of that happening because I'm going to do that in bulk for everyone. Now, this is only going to happen for 24 hours. So after 24 hours, if you create new campaigns, then that would not happen. Then you will not be giving the extra credit on them. Okay, David, I just got your message saying you have not answered my question. Can you please repeat your question? Because there are, like we just said, we have maxed out the webinar, so there's too many people. Do the extra leads apply to current Extreme members as well? Yes, Patricia, they apply to you as well. If you already have the thing, that's completely fine. Just create a new campaign because that proves to us you guys are taking action on it, right?
Yeah, David, there is no monthly charge.
Yeah, there is no monthly cost for
Extreme. Yeah. I got my eloquent clothes ready if you guys want me to make this look good.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's watch Roger's close. Oh, one more update. I was on the verge of actually sharing this earlier, but next time on the next affiliate webinar on Friday, you guys will get to hear the monkey story, which is like.
Oh, I love the monkey story.
Kevin cried when he heard this.
I laughed so hard I had to turn my webcam on and show them I had tears.
Yeah, he had
I told
tears
that at
come
dinner.
down.
Yeah, it was so funny.
Which is actually kind of offensive that they were laughing about. And you guys will see. I don't think it was funny, but
You try not to. Okay. All right. So, I started this call off just telling you a story of my life and stuff, and who cares about my life? And I like to think people care, and that's awesome. But it's about your successes and things like that in regards to DS Domination. And I talked about my trials and tribulations in network marketing, and then mid-call I talked some more about it. Well, some of you asked or might be wondering why I'm getting a car when I'm an online guy and drive 30-something hours stopping in like 20 towns to do parties. Well, where that came from was a gentleman that was my upline. He was telling me a story one night how he was a big party guy. He's a big speaker. He's a public figure. And he was telling a story one night. He was up in Virginia and he went down this long trail, these backwoods, to meet some guy in the middle of nowhere in the pitch black dark, and went into the house, and the person was like, well, let me think about it and everything else. And he closed him. He told me to close and how he got him involved and stuff like that. And that person owned a church and ended up joining up, bringing an entire church congregation to the company and making that individual thousands and thousands of dollars. And I made the commitment prior to that I was going to follow someone's leadership. And really it was for the first time I was ever going to do this. Even reading books, I would say, why would I read a book? The knowledge that they're putting on paper is in my head somewhere. So I made the commitment I was going to follow this leadership blindly. And that's why I did that. It didn't work out for me, but certainly I did very well with the company following a lot of his teachings and a lot of his guidance and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying follow me or Hitesh or Kevin. You have amazing leadership in this company that sponsored you or that sponsored your sponsor, that sponsored your sponsor, et cetera, et cetera. But what I'm saying is you have to take a stand and believe in something. And we're laying out as much as we can honesty and truth in our heart and integrity. And along the lines, you're going to see other crazy things and come across your lap and things like that. But I stayed laser focused on that company. And that started to change my family's life. And I stayed laser focused on that leadership because I made a stance just blindly internally and said, no matter what, I'm going to go with this company and I'm going to rage forward. And I did extremely well with that mindset. Now, I'm not saying grab some cult juice and line up around the block and grab a Hitesh doll and start dancing around the fire. But I am saying commitment is you take a look and you just say, you know what, this makes sense to me, and you just go for it. I promise you that myself, Hitesh, Kevin will never do anything that's not in your best interest. So make that stand, and let's just turn it up and make this an amazing, amazing holiday for your families and you and everyone else and start changing some lives. Thanks, guys, for being on here. 9:42 p.m. Wow, we're late. November 8th. Have an amazing night. I'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
thank you, everyone. Have a great night. And it's okay if you want to dance with Hitesh dolls around fires. All right, have a great night.
Oh, you're supposed to turn it off. You didn't turn it
The organizer has ended